Okay, so I used my random student generator to pull Manya. She told me that no stroke makes no outlines, which was good. Okay, Cameron, you got pulled next. What does the stroke command do?
Basically sets up for what color the outline of the object is.
Nice. It sets the outline color. What kind of thing does it take?
It can take either, wait, do you mean like what colors? Because it can either do the RGB or the just black and white.
Perfect. That's what I want to hear. It can take either one number or three numbers, and maybe there are more advanced options, but the basics are it takes one number, that makes a grayscale value, or it takes three numbers, that makes a red, green, blue value. Cool. All right. Next up. Story. What does the height thing do?
It's a variable that describes the height of a thing, so the y value, and it can be described the size of the window or the thing you're working on specifically.
Cool. I'm done with that. What category of variable is it?
Integer.
It is an integer. Very nice. Oops, and story gave me that one.
Believe it or not, this one describes the width of a variable. It is an integer value.
Big surprise. Okay, Jacob. Next is rect.
That's about making a rectangle, correct?
That is about making a rectangle. What kind of things does it take?
Doesn't it take a like a length and a width? I don't quite remember.
Okay, where do we look for rectangle? So it takes, I'll give you a clue. It takes 4 values.
Oh yeah, the 4 corner coordinate values, right?
Look on the API. Cheaters.
Okay.
What are the 4 values?
Width, height, side A and side B.
Width, height, side A, and side B. How does it get position?
Width, height is position. Side A is side A length. Side B is side B length.
So, what is it position? Is my question.
What is position?
Yeah. So let me go look.
What comes first?
So if I look for
Location of the origin point and then side A and side B.
yeah, so it takes 4 values, right? And they are the x coordinate of the rectangle, the y coordinate of the rectangle, the width, and the height. And I would like to know what the heck. It looks to me as though those are positioning the top left corner of the rectangle by default. You guys see that? But you can change the mode, which is what the next questions are about. So those 4 values are x, y, width, height, and x and y are the top left. You guys see that? Okay. All right. Next random student. Curtis, what does ellipse do? Okay.
Preconceived elliptical functions to form circles, etc. Its base factor is center rather than the rectangle's corner. Ex ellipse 9, 6, 30, 40, of which would make an ellipse of 0.96 of the width, height 30, 40 around that point. It automatically figures curve. However, you can use corners like rectangles that presume fit over the height and width of the ellipse. The start and end point and such is still top left, bottom right. That's your words? It is, gentlemen. Wow.
That was very nice. So it's a x, a y, and a X radius and a Y radius, right? And the X and Y are coordinates of the center of the ellipse. You guys with that? Okay. All right. I'm pretty sure it's radius. Is it diameter? What did your thing say?
It shows width and height from the center point.
Oh, sorry, I lied. They're X diameter and Y diameter. My bad. It would make more sense to have radius, but what are you going to do? Okay, next. I have Cameron. What does rectangle mode center do?
Nice. It makes a rectangle where the point of origin is just right in the middle. So the X and Y coordinates are from the middle rather than from the front.
Yeah. So that changes X and Y in the rectangle command to center instead of, what is it by default again? Top left corner. You guys see why that would be a convenient command to have on? What's important about that command? Where does it have to come relative to the rectangle command that you're trying to change? Yeah, it has to come above it in the code, right? Because if you try to change the mode of the rectangle after you've already drawn the rectangle, it doesn't change that rectangle, right? It's not retroactive. Okay, next is Curtis. Oh, and that one was Cameron. So, ellipse mode corners.
It basically overlays the ellipse that you make with a rectangle and gives you the XY coordinates of the corners.
Yep. Cool. Right, an ellipse lives in a rectangle. You guys see that? And this thing just takes 2 points. So this makes the 4 arguments into X, Y, X, and Y, except those are like X1 and Y1. Right? So it takes those 4 arguments and turns them into 2 points. And then it fills the rectangle with an ellipse. You guys see that? So that's corners mode. I'm not even going to try to write that out here. Okay, Gabriel, what does ellipse mode center do?
It changes the origin point of the ellipse to the center of the ellipse.
Right, instead of describing... Yeah, perfect. It does exactly what you'd think it does. Yeah. So it just turns it back to the default mode. Alright, so what's the ellipse corner mode do, Chris?
It does the same thing as the ellipse corners mode, except that instead of defining 2 points, you define 1 point and then a width.
Totes. So it does the same thing as the corners mode, right? So it makes that the top left corner of the ellipse, and then does the width and the height from there. Okay, Luke. How does triangle work?
You put in 3 sets of coordinates.
So it takes
3 points that connect to the triangle.
So it takes how many variables? Or how many pieces of information?
You have x1, y1, and x2, y2, and
Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. God, I need to learn to type. Okay. So it takes 3 points, right? And those are the corners of your triangle. Cool. Okay, Manya, what does quadrilateral do?
Draws a quadrilateral based on 4 points.
So it takes Yeah.
By one.
So I'm not going to type that in here. 8 numbers. Right? So it takes 8 numbers, and each pair, right, is one of the corners of your quadrilateral.
And to make sure your things don't freak out, it's best to go top left and then clockwise.
Yeah, and it's probably a good idea to have a plan in mind. Right? And I would recommend start top left, go either clockwise or counterclockwise, but pick one. Because it'll tweak out if you put them in a different order. Because the way it does this quadrilateral thing is it draws lines in order and then fills in the result. So if you have them crisscrossed, it'll make a hourglass shape, I think. Okay. Chris, what's arc do? Okay. Let's see, who hasn't had one yet? Jared, have I gotten you? Okay, do you know what arc does? Good. It makes part of a circle? What are the things it takes? Okay, so it takes a point where the arc starts. Good.
And then how long it's going to be? How long the full circle would have been?
Close, yeah, okay. So that's some kind of a radius thing, right? And then, what's the next one?
Well, where the arc will start on the circle? 0, for example?
Yeah, that's a kind of a weird one. Roughly, that's like the initial angle or something. It's not actually the initial angle, it's almost the initial angle, and then what's the last two? Yeah, those are the ending point. So that's... Oh, yeah. Yeah, and it also works. Yeah, it's kind of a bizarre thing. Cool.
I think it works better if you have as the fourth variable as the second, the third and fourth are height and width because you can make ellipses with it.
Yeah, I think that's maybe a better way of thinking about this. So I would call this the first radius of your circle, and this one the second radius of your circle. But it's of course not a circle, right? When they're different.
And
You guys see that? So this thing actually draws ellipses in between these 2 points of a width and a height in kind of a funky way.
I have a math question for you, or the person who programmed this doesn't know math. Why is the circumference of a circle 2 pi?
The circumference of a circle
Yeah.
of a radius 1 circle is 2 pi.
Why 2 pi?
Why?
Not 1 pi. That's the diameter 3.14 times is the circumference.
Yeah, the diameter is 2. The radius is 1. Pi. So pi is defined as the ratio between the circumference and the diameter, right?
Well, pi is defined as the radius, not the diameter.
So that
That's why.
this goes back to the original definition of pi. The original definition of pi is that it's the circumference divided by the diameter. Okay.
Yeah, I was playing with it and I couldn't figure out why I needed 2 pi in order to make a full circle.
Yeah, that's why. Okay, and lastly, fill. Story. What does fill do? Fill's a thing. It is a thing. It sets the fill color. As one would think, it takes either a grayscale or an RGB.